Hey gamers, Maniac here with GameAccess.net, continuing with our look at, I guess, Maniac's pre-order stories, where I basically look back on some of the old pre-order stories that I've had over the course of basically being a gamer, I guess you would say. And some of the coolest stuff that were actually offered for pre-orders and some of the most unique stuff that was being offered for pre-orders. Now, this next one we're going to talk about was probably my first positive pre-order story. Back in the day, you guys would probably be familiar with a little game called Neverwinter Nights, or at least the original Neverwinter Nights. It was published by Atari. It was developed by BioWare. I think it was developed by BioWare, if I remember correctly, way before Mass Effect and everything else. And it was based on the Dungeons and Dragons license, or Forgotten Realms, if you will. But it used the Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition or 3.5 edition rules in order to make it function. And it was a very highly anticipated game, not just because it was being developed by BioWare, which was even back then known as a great studio for making incredible PC games, PC RPGs, but there was a lot of hype behind it. And, of course, BioWare would then later go on, of course, to cement their legacy with not just Neverwinter Nights, but also, of course, Knights of the Old Republic. And the rest is history, if you will, once you get to Mass Effect. So, how did a game like Neverwinter Nights get offered for pre-order, and what was the incentive to actually pre-order the game? Neverwinter Nights was one of the rare games that was actually charged $60 brand new, as opposed to $50. At that time, almost all the PC games that were out brand new would be $50. It wouldn't be until $60 didn't become the standard price until the Xbox 360 became a thing. So please keep that in mind. Best Buy, who I mentioned previously in the last video that I did, decided to basically have, because again they weren't as it wasn't as big a company as it is at the time. And they didn't have like the reward system. They didn't have the ability to pre-order or to go to will call and to pre-order something like that. They just didn't have that system yet. GameStop and Electronics Boutique did, but Best Buy really didn't. They were a large big box store, if you will. So if you were going to pre-order something, there had to be another way to do it. And like I mentioned with Doom 3, there was a way to pre-order your game, and that was, of course, to purchase an empty box. And for Neverwinter Nights, this is that empty box. Still with its original label on it, Best Buy, $10. This actually was the pre-order box for Neverwinter Nights. And even I know you're probably saying, why would I pay $10 for an empty box, even if it was for a pre-order? Unlike other empty boxes, this actually had stuff in it. Now, I know what you're probably saying. What's in it? Well, you can look at here at the list right here and see what's in it. We all knew that Neverwinter Nights was going to be a major PC game, and modders were looking very closely at this game because they wanted to develop their own modules and things like that. And BioWare did come out and say, oh yeah, those tools will be available to people. In fact, if it makes you feel any better, we'll release those tools to all of you even before the game comes out so you guys can all be prepared. The modders out there, and in fact, even some of the regular just, what's the word? I don't even think this is a thing anymore. The casual PC gamers took notice on that. And so inside this box, for $10, you got a coupon, basically $10 credit to buying the full version of the game. But you also got this bonus CD. It's a PC CD-ROM, but what's on this are two things. One, an exclusive module, that would be functional for the full version of the game. It did not require the full version of the game, but when the full version of the game came out, you'd be able to play it with the full version of the game. But you could also mod around with it, because this also included all the mod tools for Neverwinter Nights. So you would be prepared for when Neverwinter Nights came out. You could just mess around with the modules. It also came in a poster. I don't know where that poster went. I might have lost it. I don't know. It's not in this box. I might have put it in the other. In my final copy of the game. I don't know. But yeah, this is the Neverwinter Nights pre-order. And it was a pretty cool one. It was actually pretty groundbreaking. Again, nowadays, If you were to buy it, even if you were to pre-order a PC game, I'm sure that a lot of this stuff, with the exception of the poster, would be, just essentially digitally distributed through like a CD key, or I'm sorry, not a CD key, like a DR, like a DLC key, and so you could do that way, or they would give you a key to a special site where you could download the tools and stuff like that. But you got to take into account that around 2004, broadband access was not really a thing in our area. In fact, I was told that probably broadband access, at least in my area, did not become a thing until around 2005, 2006. So it was no big deal for them to distribute content, even for pre order content, on CD-ROMs. They were being manufactured like crazy, so it was no big deal. So that's another pre order story that I've got. Hope you enjoyed it. If you Neverwinter Nights fans want to tell me, I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty certain that content in the time since obviously was probably either included in the full version of the game, or it was, or it's been distributed through the Neverwinter Nights sites. So it's probably no big deal. But at the time, this was basically early access to that content. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought maybe you guys might appreciate it. So until next time, guys, my name is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Take care. Over and out.